Okay, thank you. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all members of the General Purposes and Licensing Committee, any other members of the Council in attendance and the officers in attendance in today's meeting. Welcome to others who may be watching the meeting on YouTube. I am Councillor Steve Clark, Chairman of this panel. Please note that this meeting is being broadcast live and will be available for repeated viewing. Please can all councillors follow the council's ground rules for virtual meetings, in particular using the conversation panel to indicate any request to speak, and only speak when invited to do so by me as the chairman. I will take recommendations by consensus, but if a vote is required, I will call each member in turn to vote. In the event of any technical problems, there will be a short adjournment to establish if the fault can be addressed. If an individual loses connection and the meeting can continue with a quorum, it will do so. I will now call the name of each committee member and ask them to identify themselves as being in attendance at the meeting. As previously mentioned, I am Councillor Steve Clark, Chairman of the panel. Councillor Tungate.
Yes, I'm here, Vice Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Bellows.
Yes, I'm here, present.
Thank you. Councillor Blunden.
Yes, I'm here, absolutely present, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Rebecca Clark.
Present, Chairman.
Thank you. It's like a school roll, this, isn't it? Councillor Craze.
Present, Chairman.
Councillor Jack Davis.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Steve Davis.
Good morning, Chairman.
Councillor Arthur Davis.
Present, Chairman.
Councillor Dunning.
Present, Chairman.
Councillor Harrison.
Good morning, all.
Thank you. Councillor Hawkins.
Good morning, present, Chairman.
Okay. Councillor Reid.
Good morning, present and correct.
Okay. Councillor Riley. Councillor Riley.
Present.
Thank you. And Councillor John Ward.
Present.
Thank you. That's all the members of the committee. Any other members of the committee, any other members of the council in attendance will be recorded in the minutes of this meeting. We now move on to the apologies on the agenda, and as everybody has answered as present, there's none that I'm aware of.
That's right.
Item 1, the minutes. Are we happy to agree the minutes? It seems an awful long time ago, as this will be the first one we've done as a full meeting, the 13th of March 2020. Can anybody remember that far back when it was a different world? Okay, I think that's agreed. I will sign them at some stage. Do any panel members have any declarations of interest? Could you use the RTS, please, if you do? I'm not seeing any. Thank you.
None.
There is no public participation. So we go on to item 4, fees and charges for 2021 and 2022 for the licensing service.
I do need to declare an interest. I did put an RTS.
Oh, sorry, I've just seen it come up. Sorry, Jack. Jack Davis, you've got an interest to declare?
I just need to declare non-pecuniary interest in the items and fees, as I do work for a taxi company and we are dealing with taxi.
Yeah, I've just checked with Andy. Is that an interest?
I think that if he's declared it, I can note it in the minutes, Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Okay, so over to Joe, please, for the report.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, I'm bringing this report to you today for you to make a decision with regard to the non-statutory fees and charges for the licensing service for 2021 to 22. The fee setting is to ensure that we can recover our costs, but these fees always have to be reasonable and not for us to make any profit on them. The Licensing Act and many parts of the Gambling Act have statutory fees that are set, and there's no discretion with regard to those. But as the report says, the fees that we do have discretion over relate to taxes, animal welfare, skin piercing, pleasure boats, caravan sites and scrap metal dealers. And these fees are reviewed on an annual basis What we're wanting to propose this year is based on the current circumstances that we're in. We've been doing our best over the last 9 to 10 months to support businesses and to keep the economy going. And obviously, it'll be apparent to all of us that these lockdowns and the tier system that we've been put into at various times has had a big effect on trade and also affecting their income. A lot of them have suffered losses. And we've done quite a lot of work in the licensing team to support businesses as much as we can, keeping the vehicle test going so they can keep the vehicles on the roads and continuing with driver knowledge tests when we've been able to do this. So what we're proposing is not to raise the fees at all for this next year, and to actually review them the following year when we've got a much clearer picture of, hopefully we'll have come out of the pandemic and it will be a lot clearer about what the situation is for businesses. So what I'm bringing to you today is that proposal for you all to consider and make a decision on.
Okay, thank you, Joe. I've got Councillor Alvin Reid with a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's the right decision, Joe. Thank you. On the final page of the fees, under relevant protected caravan site licence fees, application for a new site, is that a typo? Because last year's 450, this year you got 750. I assume that's a typo and it should still be 450. Is that correct?
Yeah, they should all be exactly the same as what they were. So I will go back and check on that one and make sure it's no different to what it is this year.
It does show some of us do our homework. I'm happy to endorse the recommendation.
Okay, thank you for highlighting that.
That, of course, was the deliberate mistake, just to make sure the councillors read it all.
It was, definitely.
Okay. Councillor Blunden.
Yeah, thank you. Same question, same one.
Okay,
450 to 750. Yes, we do read it, Joe.
No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, David, have you got the same question?
No, mine's a different one. You'll be relieved to know, Chairman. I do support the officer's recommendation. I just wondered why this is not a portfolio holder decision and why it's one for the entire committee to meet and decide upon. Is that due to legislation or is it a choice that the district council makes?
Chairman, if I can help, it's for...
just pausing, hoping that someone was going to speak.
It's in the committee's terms of reference to decide on fees and charges and make recommendations to the council. And so, although there are no changes this year, it's still a decision to set those fees for the year.
Does that answer your question, David?
I think so. I'm always sort of wondering about the wisdom of calling meetings with lots of members. I mean, probably it doesn't matter quite so much now that we don't have the sort of mileage and travelling involved. But it just in terms of efficiency, it just seems a little odd that the portfolio holders generally make all the decisions about the council, but this seems to be one of those exceptions.
I think in terms of fees and charges, I think all the committees actually set their various budgets. So I think it's also it is part of that scrutiny system as well. Rather than letting the portfolio holders make all the decisions, I think it's nice for councillors to be involved in some, David. But yeah, but again, just in fact, the meetings we've been cancelling this year, as far as GPL is concerned, it's because we've been prioritising the work that's been done and allowing the officers to get on in a common sense way. So there, I think we will have a backlog of work in due course, because I'm sure there's things that I know Joe's got lined up for us that as soon as we get back to some degree of normality, that we will be bringing forward.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay, Councillor Craze was on there, says that's been covered by Alvin. Councillor Anne Bellows.
Yes, thank you. Just a question for Joanne. Yeah, I agree with not putting up the prices. That's great. But I just wanted to know on page 8, I just wanted to confirm exactly what track is. I wasn't fully understanding what that is, that's all.
I can see Joe looking down the page now.
Yes, I am. There are various track licenses. They all come under the Gambling Act. So it's if we had a race track in our area, there's lots of betting with relation to that. So some of them don't apply specifically to us, or we haven't got those premises in our area.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Any other questions? Nothing showing on my screen. In which case, I'll move to the recommendation. The recommendation is at 9.1, and you're asked to agree the recommended fees for the financial year 2021-22 as set out in Appendix A. We do that by consensus unless there's anybody disagreeing. Nothing coming up on my screen, Andy, so that is recommended as per the report.
Yeah, thanks. That's going up to council. Thank you, members.
Okay, thank you. Can I just say at this point, I'll do a word of thanks to Jo, Krista and her team, because I know for the past year we haven't sat as a committee, but I know that they're in terms of taxes, other licensing, the team have been working extremely hard in the background. They've done a lot of assisting businesses to carry on, advising of businesses, making sure that the world still goes on, and they've worked very hard. And I think they've also done other jobs as well. So could I pass on my thanks, and hopefully the thanks of the whole committee, to all the officers involved in her team for all the hard work that they've been doing over the last few months and in very difficult circumstances. So well done to the team, and hopefully we will be back to working in a different way shortly.
Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it, and I will pass it on to the team.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we move to item 5 now. You've all got the dates of the meeting on the agenda. Is everybody okay to agree those dates? Councillor Davis is typing a message.
It's the other David.
Right, okay. That's
Councillor Arthur Davies. I was just saying, thank you very much for the officers. Take care and well done. Thank you very much. That's all I was typing, but I'll say it in person. Thank you, Chairman.
I think sometimes when I can see that someone's typing and you wait with bated breath to see what's going to appear. There we go. So they're endorsing my statement as well, and Councillor Tungates said agreed as well. So in the absence of any comments about the dates, those are agreed then. And I think we now move to urgent items, item 6. There are no urgent items as far as I'm aware, unless any member of the committee has got something they feel is urgent and wish to raise. And this time I can see nobody typing. So in which case I will declare that the meeting is closed. Thank you very much, everyone. The recording